Hello there, and welcome to Rocking Elders. My name is Jan,
And my name's Dee.
and today we've decided we're just going to be grumpy old boomers.
Yes, we are. Damn it.
We're going to say, I think I'm going to call this podcast, Are We Just Old? Are we just old? Because we look around at at the world, and there's certain things that we are like, what? How
Yeah.
do they get away with doing that?
What's everybody comfortable watching? And of course, it's media and TV.
Hmm.
What are we all comfortable watching without being prudes? Are we
Yeah,
just too old? Are we expecting too much from young people these days to have some sort of moral barometer to say,
yeah,
okay, that's too much? Right now, I see everything
yeah,
and I don't like everything. Doesn't mean that someone else doesn't, but should it be that no matter who you are and what you do, it should all be published for everybody to see? Is there no end in sight?
yeah.
Am I just too old? I
I
mean,
don't know, because I think exactly the same.
yeah,
Um, I watch things. I don't watch an awful lot of TV nowadays because I
yeah,
find it boring.
it
And I've
is.
got to the stage where I think I don't want to watch what the programmers think I want to watch.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to watch something of quality. I don't want to be fed garbage.
Yes.
And I don't know whether that comes with age or whether it sort of comes with the technology that we have today, in as much as we've got so many other things that we can do other than watch TV, like watch YouTube or watch
Right.
Netflix.
Right.
There's all-
I have a lot of apps on my TV, but those are
Mhm.
geared toward things that I want to watch, like old
Yes.
movies or musicals or nature or just music videos or things like this. I can gear my TV now with apps through the internet to watch what I want to watch rather than programming from a local or national channel that thinks I want to watch a certain thing. Now, that probably is old right there. It
Yeah.
probably is that I don't want to watch local TV anymore because I'm bored and maybe I've just moved past it. But right now, especially on YouTube, we're both on there. It's
Hmm.
one of the social medias. Um, the kinds of things that I'm seeing on there, I see a lot, not a lot, but I do see things that channels that are like almost degenerate
Yeah.
things. Now, I
Yeah.
know there's people that really get off and they get a kick out of these channels, but where's the end of it? How much is too much? And are we expecting that everybody has a moral compass and that you can say, okay, I'll do that in my real life, but I'm not going to film it. I'll say those
Yeah.
things in real life, but not to film it.
Yeah. I think there have been instances, particularly like with the Paul brother. I'm not sure whether it was Jake Paul or the other one. Can't remember his
Hmm.
name.
Yeah.
Logan Paul
Hmm.
filming in the suicide
Oh, God.
forest. I don't know if you heard about that. Now he got into, well, presumably he got into a lot of trouble
Yeah.
because of doing that. But
Right.
what I don't understand is what possesses somebody, especially somebody who has such a massive platform, to even consider doing something like that?
This is the question. This is it. This is the are we too old? Is there no end to how far people will take being angry, too much sex, too much. I'm not a prude by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
me
And
neither.
in all my long years on this earth, I've seen and done quite a few things myself. But I didn't film it,
Yeah.
and I didn't expect anybody else to look at it or listen to it, because it
Hmm.
has, again, there's real life, and how people interact with each other is one thing. Filming it and thinking or expecting other people to watch and then agree with what you're doing, like you said, maybe I'm too old. Maybe that's not expected anymore, that there's some level of decency. I'm not talking about buttoning your shirt up all the way. I mean, sexy stuff is very cool. I think it's great. It's sexuality. It's part of it's human.
Yeah.
There's nothing more human than that. But, and the hatred that people have for each other, hate channels, just mad.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad all the time. And I'm like, I don't personally,
No.
there was a time where I would watch little drama channels and things like that on YouTube, or watch little goings on Twitter or other social medias. That time has passed for me. Now, maybe there's a lot of people that do enjoy it, but I'm starting to see that there's no limit to how far and angry and degenerate people will go. And does it have to be filmed? Is that necessary?
Well, it's almost as if they need validation for their feelings.
Maybe.
And
Maybe that's it.
perhaps they don't get that in their real life. So if they're angry at somebody, if
Yeah.
somebody has said, done a video about them,
Mhm.
and they're really angry about them,
Mhm.
or at them rather, it's almost like the person then needs to go on camera and then show themselves to be the victim. Look at me. I'm the victim because
Mhm.
somebody said such and such a thing.
Yeah.
Instead of, accepting the fact that it is only the internet. At the end of the
Yes.
day,
Right.
it is only the internet.
Mhm.
We choose whether to go on the internet or not.
It is a
Nobody
choice.
is holding our arm up our back saying,
No.
"Oh, you've got to go on the internet and you've got to do that." No, we're choosing to go on there. So this sort of cat and mouse situation
It's just,
is just so tiring. It's so unnecessary, and
yeah.
it's so trivial, dare I say, unless it goes into real life.
Yeah. The going in real life, I've been hacked. You've been hacked. There's bad people in the world. And there's some people that will stop at nothing to make sure that
Mhm,
they ruin someone's real life over words on
mhm,
the internet. Words.
mhm.
That's all it is. It's just words.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing. Where does this end? Are we too old to understand that we can turn it off, change a channel, not get involved, don't engage? You know, um, I don't know. Like you said, it's tiresome right now. We're
Mm.
grumpy today, Jan.
We are grumpy today. We're gonna have a grumpy old chat today. But I think what I like about our little podcast is that
Hmm.
we can do that, it's our podcast and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, and
That's right.
hopefully, there's gonna be people out there that can relate to what we're saying.
Yeah.
Um, and there's an awful lot that's said about ageism online.
Yes. Yes.
To be honest, it
Hmm.
doesn't really bother me that much,
Yeah.
um, because it is online. It doesn't bother me,
I have
if
to remember
someone.
that. It's just
Yeah, it's
online.
because it's online. Look
Yes.
at the life you lead off of
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's the way I look at it.
yeah,
Look at
it's a
the
good,
things.
yeah, it's a good life that I lead.
Yeah.
And I have been involved at different points in listening, not necessarily wanting to be part of drama in little communities, which is, looking back, is so stupid. Now, I
Yeah.
know people get a kick out of this, and it could be a hobby, or they just get really jacked up about getting angry, or having people get angry at them over words, because that's all it
Mhm.
is words.
Yeah.
Um, but I think maybe I've reached a point now in my old age, that I don't want to be bothered. But it's
That's
still
it.
out there. It's still out there. But when do we stop engaging in this and just either go read a book or listen online to someone reading a book to us? Maybe
Mm.
that's part of getting old. Maybe it's like, I don't want turmoil. I don't want to choose that
Yeah.
anymore. And
Why
I don't want
choose
to
that?
watch. Yeah, I don't want to watch other people get mad either. It's
Yeah.
depressing, isn't it?
Exactly. Especially when it's happening sort of on a daily basis.
Yes.
And you're like, well, why? Why even engage with those people?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I've had my trouble in the past
Mm-hmm.
online, as
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
you also have
Me
as well.
too. Mm-hmm.
But there comes a time when you think, I'm just going to step back. They don't even know who I am.
Yeah. They don't.
They know this persona. They
Yeah.
know, from my videos, they think they know me. But the
Right.
real me is the person in my live streams and who I am on my podcast.
Right.
And if people still dislike that, then that's their prerogative. It
Yeah.
doesn't bother me. And if
Yeah.
there's people that are saying, "Oh, yeah, but she does this," and "Oh, yeah, but she said that," like you, I'm thinking, I don't give a toss
Yeah.
what you think.
I like that. I don't give a toss. I love that.
Yeah,
And there's a
why
lot of
give them that power?
yeah.
Why
I
give them the power to spoil your day?
yeah. Yeah. And to get back to it, the channels you can change and you don't have to
Yeah.
watch. And this is what's happening to me now, is I'm being more selective
Mhm.
into watching or listening to things that I enjoy and give me pleasure,
Mm.
and that's different for everybody. It is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very individual what you want to see or involve yourself in. And if you get into a community that's drama or anything else, it's our choice to do it. I chose in the past to be involved to some degree in some petty dramas on YouTube. I'm over it. I
Yeah.
don't want to be angry anymore about who said what to who and why. And now we're old people. We're old. Yes, people, we have one foot in the grave. Yes, we can see it on the horizon. It's
Yeah.
closer every day. Aren't we
Yeah.
lucky? Aren't we
Yeah.
lucky? We are. I'm
Yeah, but
still here.
who's to say that we're gonna die before them?
They
They could
don't
get
know.
run over by a bus tomorrow.
I think
Who
some people are
knows?
afraid of age because it's a sign of their own mortality.
Yes,
And
I
they're
can
afraid to
understand
get
that.
older because they think they're closer to death. Well,
Mm,
everybody is at any time in their life, because no one has a
exactly.
crystal ball. There's no expiration date on D. Higgins at
Mhm.
all. There's
No.
no expiration date on you or anybody else I know.
Mhm.
But this word age has come to mean, from what I can see on Twitter and on different channels on YouTube, it's thrown about as an insult. It's meant as an insult. Oh,
Yeah.
you old thing, you. And it's like, thank
Yeah,
you. I
but what
made it
you
this
should think
far.
is, yeah, okay, you can call me old, but
Mhm.
I've lived a bloody good life, and that's much more than you've done.
And maybe they don't want to hear that
So
either.
yeah, because
You
when you
know?
look at the people, I mean, we know the people that we're talking about
Yes, yes,
predominantly in
yes.
this case, and I think it's quite prevalent in, other areas in life. The
Yeah.
people that throw those insults, if
Hmm.
you look at them
Hmm.
and see what their lives are,
Hmm.
that's where the hatred's coming from. It's a self-hatred thing. It's a
Yeah.
projection because they would love to be in our position. They would love to have done the things that we've done,
Yeah, I think
to
that's
have,
yeah,
you know, so
I
many memories of times when we were very lucky, to have experienced things, or we've worked hard enough to experience certain things. And so it's almost like the drunk in the middle of the street
mhm,
hurling abuse at the successful looking couple coming out of a five-star restaurant and
right.
saying, "Oh yes, yeah, 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 yeah." He's
Jealousy.
doing that as a
Jealousy.
projection because really, he would love to be coming out of that restaurant
Yes.
with a young girl on his arm and
I've got
wearing
a
a nice suit.
I've got a good little story in here to put it. This was the perfect setup. Years ago, my husband and I had just left a lovely restaurant, and we had been married, I don't know, 10 years or so. And a motorcycle pulled up next to us. Beautiful, beautiful young girl. No helmets, because in Florida you didn't
Mhm.
need helmets. Ridiculous, but true.
Yeah.
And this guy had a great motorcycle. I mean, it was like blue flake metal with metal flakes. It was really cool bike. And I said something to him like, "Oh, I bet you wish you were that guy with that beautiful blonde on the back." He said, "Well, I don't really like the bike." What? So that kind of meant, yeah, I would. I just don't like that bike. I'm like, you bastard. No, we
Oh
weren't
my
told at that time.
Lord.
We were probably just turned 40. I mean, it wasn't, we weren't, we weren't in our 50s or anything. But I thought that
Mm.
was kind of cute. He was such a smart ass to say that. Like, well, yeah, the beer, I don't like that bike though. No, I don't want to be him. That was a smart ass guy. Yeah. But that was our age talk way back then. But other than that, in real life, people don't, if you talk to other people about, oh, I feel so old today, what do friends say? They're like, stop talking like that.
Yeah.
Like it's,
I've got one of my besties is
mhm,
exactly the same age as me. Actually,
mhm,
I'm a couple. My birthday's November. Her birthday is February, so
mhm,
we're the same age. And every year on each other's birthday,
mhm.
our conversation goes, "Hello, you old bag! Happy birthday, you old." And then we're like, "Where did it go?
Yeah,
Where did it go?"
it's going one day at a
We
time.
were
Yeah.
20-year-olds. We were mid-20s
Yes.
walking around town with our pushchairs one minute, with
Yes.
our kids, and we both had ended up having 4 kids each. We couldn't
Hmm.
stop.
Right.
And I mean, we've been friends since then. And it's like the conversations I have with her are
Mhm.
hilarious because it's like, what the hell happened? We've reached that age where, remember when we used to walk around and we'd say, "Oh God, we'll still be friends when we're in our 60s."
That's right. I
And
re-
it's like, we're there, Ree.
I
What the
remembered
hell?
I remember back when I was younger in my 20s, and you'd look at someone 40 and go, "Oh, man,
Oh,
that's my
oh,
parents' age. They're old." And then
yeah,
you turn to be 40 and like, "Oh, they're 60. Oh God, those are my parents' age. They're really old." And then you turn 60 and you're like, "Oh, that's not that old." No, 60 is
I
pretty
know.
good. But I have the same friends. A friend of mine just got in town today, and there's 3 of us. We've been friends since just about first grade. We
Wow.
get together and we turn into teenagers right away.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
I ever said anything like, "Oh, I feel like, a hag, or I feel old or something," they're smacking the back of my head like, "Snap out of it, girl." Like, it's not important. It's not, we
Mm.
don't have to identify people and put everybody, you're in the young box until you're 40 and then you're old.
Yeah, I know.
But that everybody needs to categorize people. You're young, you're not.
But I
You're
wonder
middle age.
why that's the case, though,
I
because
don't
why
know.
can't old people
Hmm.
say to young people, "Oh God, you're young." Ugh. Why can't we do that?
I don't
We
know.
could. We could say you haven't even lived.
I think we should start a trend. Oh
I
my God, you're
really-
so young. You don't have wisdom teeth yet, honey.
I know. I know. But
Why
it's
not?
like, that's what I mean. I know in some cultures, getting older is seen as a what is it? As being revered.
Not here.
Um,
Not
it's a
here.
wonderful thing to have got older. And
Yeah.
there are people that say, "Oh, well, some people they don't, they're not lucky enough to reach 60, or they're
Yeah.
not lucky enough to reach, 45 or whatever."
Not
And
everybody makes it. Yeah. Not
yeah,
everybody
and
is
I
lucky enough to reach a good age, good ripe old age.
exactly. So we should be out here, yay, we made it.
I
Because I
know.
mean, if there's one thing that the pandemic taught us, it taught us that you never know what's around the corner. So don't
True.
think, you've
Nope.
got your life all worked out. You're only 30 now and you can do whatever you want. The world's your oyster and everything. No,
Nope.
because life isn't like that.
Nope.
You
Things
know,
change in a second. In a second,
who
everything can
knew?
change in your life.
Who knew we'd be locked up for 2 years?
Isn't that awful?
We were
That was so,
virtually
oh,
locked up for 2 years.
I just got my second booster
Oh, have
because,
you?
yes, because I see things are ramping up in
Oh,
other
are they?
states. And I live in a town where in season during the summer, this town is packed. People
Mhm.
from cruise ships. It's a beautiful resort town, but I know there's going to be a lot of people from all over the world here in this town. I
Yeah,
thought, you know what? I've got to protect myself
yeah,
and get another booster. So I'm, double boosted now. And I'll
yeah,
still wear my mask in some places just out of
yeah,
fear, whether it's real or imagined. I don't care. That's my choice to do it and whatever. But I
yeah.
don't, I was a smoker for 45 years. And that's the last thing I need is some kind of a lung issue from
Mm,
freaking COVID.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But COVID isn't always shouldn't really talk about it, I guess, but COVID seems to be it's almost like a lucky dip. If you get COVID, you might get the one that affects your lungs, but then again, you might get the one that just gives you aches and pains. You might
Yeah.
get the
And a
one
headache.
that causes you tinnitus and
Hmm.
various other things. You might get
Yeah.
the one that affects your mental health.
Yeah.
It's almost like a lottery. Um, does
Yeah.
that mean that you shouldn't take it seriously? No, I think you should take it
Yep. I
seriously.
do. I do take it
And if
seriously.
you're foolish enough to think that, "Oh, it's never gonna happen to me," then,
Yeah.
just don't
That's yeah. I
push
mean,
your
there's
push
a
your
whole
thump.
faction of the world that thinks it's made up. There's another
Mhm.
faction that thinks it's absolutely true. And then, then we're getting into politics here. But just on a health angle, I just want to protect myself
Yeah.
against whatever. But it could just be a flu virus with no name. Just summer flu.
Mhm.
I'm going to just try and avoid that. If that meant an extra free booster, so be it. Doesn't hurt anybody but me.
Yeah. I've
So,
had one booster.
mhm.
I don't think I'm set for another one yet, but I'll have it when it comes around. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Might as well.
Not going to hurt
Um,
anything,
yeah.
but
So yeah, go on. What were you saying?
now I don't remember the boomer moment.
Yeah, okay.
Talking
Let's
about
have a boomer moment. Okay. Boomer, boomer, boomer.
oh
What you gonna
god.
say?
Oh my god, that's yeah, brain freeze. It just happens. Young
Mhm.
people, it just happens. You're on a train of thought, stop.
But don't you think, which one of the things I like is,
Mhm.
I mean, I've always been one to speak up anyway.
Yeah.
I've never been quiet.
Yeah.
Um, but don't you think, being older, you can say a lot more and it and you can sort of get away with it. It's like I can still. I'm the world's worst. I'm the biggest flirt that ever walked this earth.
I'm a good flirt. Yeah,
I
I
am
am too.
terrible,
Practiced. Yes.
and
Yeah.
I can still flirt.
Yeah. That only gets better with age. That doesn't stop, kids. It
And I
doesn't
still get
stop.
away with it, and the kids are so embarrassed. It's like,
Yeah,
"Mum,
I
stop
know.
flirting with the waiter."
No, that's all right. I do the same. My girlfriends and I took a couple of years ago before the pandemic. We met my girlfriend that's in town now. We met our other friend out in Pasadena. Decided to go to West Hollywood to go to Sir Restaurant. It's part of Vanderpump Rules. If anybody watches TV, Bravo. So the one girl couldn't give two anythings about this show, doesn't know who they are, what it is, or anything. And my other friend, her and I are very connected on this pop culture level for this particular show. We know who's on it. We know, everything about it. So we chose this restaurant and we walk in there. Beautiful. Oh my God, sexy. I think that's what it meant. SUR, Sir Restaurant, means sexy, unique restaurant.
Oh,
Well, it fit
interesting.
all the bills. It was like being in Morocco with girls with tube tops and midriffs on.
Oh.
So we walk in there, and the average age, I would guess, is 25. Well, here come three grandmas, all dolled up for the evening, walking in there, and we were by far the oldest. Well, one of the lead characters on the show, Peter, anyone that watches Vanderpump Rules will know this. Peter came over, sat us down at a table. He was so attentive to the three of us. We were by far the oldest people in this restaurant, and that place was packed with young people. The music was great. It's sexy in there. We had a bottle of wine. We were having a hell of a time, and he kept coming over. So I was a shameless flirt with this kid. He's probably 45, maybe. I was shameless, and my girlfriends are kicking me under the table. They're like, Dee, what are you doing? I'm like, what? It's a little harmless. Well, don't you know, of course, he probably picked us out because we were probably the biggest tippers in the whole thing. He thought, oh, three old chicks. I'll get some dough from them. So we tipped him well, and he did. He's like, you guys want pictures? Oh, he put his arms around me. He was just, he was so much fun, and he got with the program. Like, it wasn't serious, but I was a shameless old flirt with this kid. It was ridiculous. We had such a good time. But yeah, three old chicks out on the town. What a freaking riot. It didn't stop me, though. It didn't stop me.
Oh
He was
my
in his
God.
40s, so I didn't fit. It wasn't like creepy. It
Yeah.
wasn't like he was in his 20s or anything, but he knew what was what. Do you know what I mean? He's like, oh, they're just having fun and whatever. We're probably his mother's age,
Yeah.
basically, if you think about it. But he was just having fun. He jumped in the fun there. We had a good time. But yeah, shameless flirt.
Well, I think a lot of these youngsters, they don't really understand what flirting is. Flirting isn't about being as overtly sexual as you
No,
possibly can.
no.
It's about having a twinkle in your eye and being a
Yes,
bit suggestive
yes.
and, giving them your widest smile. And
Right.
it's not about having the skimpiest clothes.
No,
Um,
it's not about the flattest stomach or the best shape
no.
of anybody. There's a real, not a, I don't want to say a talent in flirting, but it's definitely learned, and it's not, to us anyway. I think I can say for both of us, it's not about wanting to bed somebody down. It's not
No,
about wanting to sleep with that person. It's
no.
just you're a girl and you're alive, and it's someone, I don't even know if you're attracted to them. It's just flirting is just a way of, I don't know, like you said, a twinkle in the eye. Like,
Yes,
it's just fun. It's just fun,
yes.
and it has no ulterior motive for me anyway. I'm married. I'm
Yeah, I
not,
mean, if
yeah.
they were to come back with something, overtly sexual, we'd go, "Oh God, no, I didn't mean
Exactly.
that."
Go, excuse me.
Yes,
No.
sorry about that.
Right. Because we're old, you see. We're
Mm,
old. Flirting in your
absolutely.
20s maybe is different, I'm guessing,
Yeah, but I mean,
especially now.
it's like my daughter. She knows the manager of a restaurant that we quite often go to, and he's charming. It's a Turkish restaurant, and he also is a humongous flirt. So
Hmm.
when we go in, like, there's normally just us girls. There's me,
Right.
my daughter, and her granddaughter, and her daughter.
Hmm.
And he doesn't know who to flirt with. He just flirts with all of us. He's like, hello,
Love it. I
hello,
love it.
ladies, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's he's a real character, and I flirt with him as well.
Naturally. Yeah.
And sometimes
It's
I think, "Oh, Jan, pull back a little bit," but then I think, "Well, no," because he knows I'm not serious, and I think
exactly.
that's the difference.
It's
Like, he
just
always
fun.
says to me, "Oh, should we go clubbing one night, Jan?" I'm like, "Yes, let's go. I like to take heavy bits," and we just have a laugh.
Exactly.
It's all
Yeah.
innocent fun, and
Yeah.
I think that that's something that the youngsters don't quite get,
I know.
and it's like, going back, doing a 180. Is it 180 or 190? I don't know.
Something like that.
Boomer moment.
Numbers.
380.
I don't do good at numbers. Yeah.
No. Anyway, doing one of those turns back again to YouTube,
Yeah.
it's sort of, that can be applicable with what some people would think is sexual
Hmm.
whilst on camera. Now, for me, seeing someone sucking a lollipop on camera is not
Yeah.
sexual to me.
No, not to me either. Might be to somebody.
But
I think it was. I know the one you're talking about, and I don't know if it was supposed to be suggestive or something else. I don't know. And
oh,
again, like we talked about earlier, I'm not a prude. You're not a prude. But
no, God, no.
certainly not about sexuality.
No.
That time has passed where I'm scared or was scared of anything, or I
Mhm.
don't approve of what's on. I can certainly change a channel if I don't like it. But
Yeah.
when you do see certain things, you start to wonder what's next. What else is acceptable? Is
Yeah,
everything
where are they going to
acceptable?
draw the line? Where are they going to draw the
I
line?
don't think there's any line being drawn anywhere. I think anything goes, like Cole Porter wrote.
Mm.
You know who Cole Porter is, don't you,
Of course,
kids?
I know who Cole Porter is. He's a someone who wrote songs, songwriter.
Yeah, composer in the
Yeah,
30s,
that's
30s,
it.
40s, and
Why couldn't I
50s.
think of the word composer? Had to
Yeah,
come out the songwriter. I
boomers,
used to be a
because we're
songwriter back
old.
in the day. We're just talking over each other now, so we might as well just give up.
Inde-
Dave, we're hopeless at this.
independent thought. That's all.
Do I know who Cole Porter is? Of course I know who Cole Porter is.
Yeah.
What was that song that you just said? What was the
Anything goes.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's the one.
can't tell me about songs,
Yeah, that's right. I
I
forgot
might
your
have to cut
music.
that bit out. Bloody awful that was, wasn't it? When I sing, Carsten always tells me to shut up. He always says, "Shut up.
It's because
Stop
he
it."
loves you.
That's what he says. Stop it. I'm like, "Oh, Carsten, but I like to sing." Yeah, not when I'm around. Oh, all right then. Oh my God. So what else are we too old for, dear? What else are we too
Okay,
old
we're
for?
not too old for sex, music. I think we're
Mhm.
too old for heroin, maybe. But we
I
can
never got
still
into
ride
the
motorcycles. We can still ride,
I never got into the drug scene.
No, I didn't either. I mean, now it's prescription drugs at our
Yeah,
age, but
and drugs
no,
to stop the aches and the pains.
no, no, I never did Quaaludes and Coke and all that stuff. Although in the 70s, just about everybody did some version of that. Not everyone, but I knew people that did. It was part of the culture back then. Might even be now. I don't know. I'm not in the
No, I
scene right
don't
now.
know. I get the feeling. I think they do have recreational drugs. Hark at me,
Yeah,
God, that sounds really old.
right.
Um, but I think they do. But I think the kids of today
Mhm.
are a bit more smarter. I like to think that. And there's always going to be kids that will try things,
Oh,
but
sure.
they're the ones that, dare I say, haven't really got a brain.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
So
think people can, certainly take some drugs responsibly. It's like alcohol. A lot of people can drink. Not everyone's an alcoholic. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Some people can take some drugs, doesn't mean they're a drug addict. I
Yeah.
think that's this. I think that's always going to be the case. I
Yeah.
don't think that changes with age, except now at my age, when I drink, I'll get a headache if I drink too much. Not that I
Oh,
don't want to drink some more, I just get a headache.
it's because you're a boomer. Oh my
We
God.
need to get a wine named Boomer. There should be a wine for boomers only or
Yeah.
something.
Those boomer moments.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I think I managed to escape the drugs.
Yeah.
What is it? Drugs, something, and rock and roll. What was it? Drink.
Sex,
dr-
drugs, and rock and roll.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, I had the sex, but I didn't have the drugs and the rock and roll.
Yeah, the sex is good. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those
Yeah.
days.
Oh no, we're too old to discuss that. Oh my God, can you imagine?
No.
Oh no, no, no! You're not meant to even think about that. Don't be daft. Don't be
That's
daft.
the limit we talked about. Is like what you know what I mean. I think the time I grew up in, I have a limit of what I could talk about in a video or in a podcast about what I'm comfortable talking about,
Yeah,
especially personal things like sexuality or something. I'll talk to you on the phone about it, but I don't
yeah,
think I'd record it. For other people to listen to, I'd be embarrassed.
yeah, yeah. I think
Yes.
you have to have.
Even at this age, like, what do I care if someone, hears about what I have to say? But I just personally, I think I just would be embarrassed. That's just me.
I think I think it's just our society,
Yeah.
and by that I mean what the Americans and the Europeans
Hmm.
that have such a hang up about the behavior of older people, and they see calling
Hmm.
somebody a boomer
Yeah.
as an insult. And I'm like, well, it's not really an insult. It's who
No.
I am.
No.
you know.
I'm a
So,
proud boomer. I'm a proud boomer. I'm not
yeah,
ashamed of it in any way. No.
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 But some people, I mean, is it in our society
I
that
think
it's
in American society, we're a youth oriented culture. So, nobody wants to get old, but it's a fact of life. We're all going to get old if we're lucky. But with plastic surgery, I mean, look at Cher. What is she, 80?
oh my
She
God.
looks phenomenal.
Yeah, but she can't stay out in the sun because
No,
she melts.
I know, but still, the
I
woman is
mean,
gorgeous. She's tried to stay young and has succeeded all these years. Thank you, doctors. It's revolutionary. I don't have any problem with plastic surgery to look the best you can at your age if you want to. If you, not everybody has to. A lot people are just, there are people that are just happy with who they are without trying to look, 10, 20 years younger. Why lie about your age?
see, I
Unless you're
don't
trying to,
understand. Yeah, excuse me. I don't understand somebody like Cher, who's 80,
yeah.
who has all this plastic surgery
Mhm.
on the outside, but does she have any sort of on the inside? I mean, her lungs and her organs are still going to be 80 years old.
They are. And
So
I
when her
think
time's up, her
Yeah.
time's up. You know, when her heart thinks, "Oh God, I've been beating for 80 years. I can't be bothered now."
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter what's shown on the
Hmm.
outside. So
Hmm.
it's not that I'm against
Hmm.
plastic surgery.
Yep.
It's just not something that I would consider
Yeah.
because
And
I'm too much of a baby.
yeah, and I'm way too vain not to have it. I have had it, and I was delighted to do so. I
Mm,
I felt great. I made myself feel better. I liked who I saw in the mirror, and it just made me have a different outlook, not only about myself, but what I presented myself to the world. Did it change my life? No. Did it change how people reacted to me? No. It's just I changed about myself.
yeah.
So I don't have, I encourage people, if there's something that bothers you about yourself, go get it changed if you feel like it. If you love who you are, so much the better.
Hmm.
You know, my mother had a fit about my plastic surgery. She's like,
Did
"How can you
she?
change what God gave you?" I said, "Well, he makes mistakes once in a while." You
Yeah,
know,
that's
and I just
true.
felt, I felt better doing it, and you know, it's one of the best things I ever did. But
Yeah,
that was
see,
just for me. I didn't do it for anybody. I didn't do it for a man, my husband, nobody. That was completely for myself.
yeah. I
And
mean,
it helped to, yeah.
I can understand people having it done.
Hmm.
Um, I, I, I can't understand people going to the extreme with it, but then maybe their heads are, you know, they've got this body dysphoria, or misphobia, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Um,
body dysmorphia. Yeah.
that's the word.
Yeah.
And maybe they do see themselves in a particular way
Hmm.
that nobody else sees, and if they've got the funds to do it, or if it's
Yeah.
screwing up their mental health,
Hmm.
yeah, you know, I agree they should be given that
And
opportunity. But
yeah.
personally,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have it because, as I said, I don't like pain necessarily. Um,
Oh, it didn't hurt.
and
It didn't hurt at all.
didn't it?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, I
Nope.
might go in then.
Yep, jump in. The water's fine. It really is. And I
Yeah.
think that women that are men and women that go to extreme, they have a vision in their head of what some people want to
Mm.
look like, a cartoon star or a cat or whatever they want to do.
Oh.
That's their individual, you know, perception of themselves or what they want to attain. To
Mhm.
us, it's ridiculous. To them, when they look in the mirror, they probably think they look fabulous.
Yeah.
And so, you know, who
It's
are we
down
to
to
judge?
choices, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
down to
yeah,
choices.
yeah.
And, you know, they're aware of what they're gonna have to go through. They're aware of how much
Mhm.
pain they're going to have to, you know, endure.
Yeah,
They're adults, you
yeah,
know. Fine,
yeah.
it's their choice.
Free choice.
Um,
Like we were talking about earlier, we can just change the channel, not jump
yeah,
in, not get
yeah,
involved, look the other way, and not, you know, just let the world keep spinning on the way it's going to spin.
yeah.
Oh, it's
And
been, you know, Jan, I don't feel grumpy anymore after talking to you.
oh, well, that's good. Neither
I'm
do
not
I.
grumpy anymore. Yeah,
We
I
were a
was so
right miserable pair,
grumpy.
weren't we? We were. We were like, "Oh, what we're gonna talk about?" "Oh, I dunno."
I
We
know.
had we had another topic planned, and then we were sort of chatting and just grumping
Mhm.
along, and then I said, "Do you know what? We'd been talking for half an hour," and I
Right.
said, "Well, why the hell didn't I just press start and we could have just talked and then" Oh,
Yep.
well, that's
Yep.
us.
Next
Anyway,
time.
I think it would be quite nice to round it off now because I
All
know
right.
you've got things to do.
Yep.
And I've got nothing else to say.
Well, you cheered me up, so that's something. I was
Well,
productive. I
well,
hope.
that's good. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you need that, and I feel like, you know, when we have our little chats,
Hmm.
we can just be ourselves and just forget
Yes.
that we've got the mic on and
Yeah.
just have a bit of a chin wag. That's what,
Yeah.
you know, that's what rocking elders is all about. I'll get used to calling us that soon, Dee.
Rockin'
That'd be a
elders.
surprise for
Yep.
everyone.
We are. We're, see, being old And being boomers, we're still rocking it out. We are. We are.
Rockin.
You can naysayers, you can take it the way you want, but we are still badass,
Oh
even
my
at this age.
God, 100%. It's like when I
Yeah.
was talking about my youth. One thing that I like about our chats is that it makes me think of other things. And it's like last week when we were talking about our childhoods,
Yeah.
I'd like to revisit them
Okay.
and have another podcast where we talk about other things that happened when we
Yes.
were younger, because
There's a lot.
it's nice to do that, isn't it? Did you
It
enjoy
is.
that?
It's nostalgic. It's fun. I have a lot of good memories of being young
Yeah,
and experiences and where I grew up and people I've known and,
yeah,
characters that I've known. So, yeah, I think we should talk about that again. I do.
yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely, because
Yeah.
there's so much, and I just don't want it to be too much of a downer,
Yeah. No doubt.
and I don't want people to get the wrong perspective
No.
of my childhood, because I feel that I had a blessed childhood. Even though I was in
Fabulous.
the home, I do
Hmm.
feel I had a blessed childhood. So I'd hate to think that when I do talk about my
Hmm.
childhood, that other people aren't thinking, "Oh, poor Jack." No, don't feel sorry for me. I was fine. Perfectly
No,
fine.
you're fabulous. What?
Oh, I
Good
don't know
to
about
hear. Yeah, I do. I
that.
do.
Anyway, my darling, have a fabulous week.
You
Until
too.
next week, thank you to everybody that's come to join us and have a bit of a chat, a bit of a break from all the rubbish that's going on out
Yeah.
there. And we shall chat again next week.
Yeah, that'd be
Thanks.
great. I look forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks again, beautiful lady.
Thank you,
And
Dan. I love you. And
I
thank
love
you,
you.
everybody, for listening. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us.
Yeah. Love you too, lovely lady.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.